Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going to talk about the #1 issue. Again, we're back. We're back here. It's almost like this 3-month cycle that Raid have fallen into. And we're back on the arena. This is going to be the year of the arena for Raid Shadow Legends. That's what they've told us. And right now, it is in a dire state. It's in a dire state again. And we kind of go on this kind of roller coaster of, are they going to fix the arena? Are they not? They fix it or they change it for a few months. And then it kind of falls back. It's like they hire somebody, they come in, they make a change, and then that dude gets sacked after a week. It gets left, and then someone comes back in and is like, nah, reverse what he did. Reverse what he did. And honestly, it is the biggest reason, in my opinion, that new players that actually enjoy the game leave. It's also now becoming one of the biggest reasons that endgame players that enjoy arena specifically leave. So it's a double whammy for me for both the core blood of new people coming through enjoying the game, but also like the people that have played the game for a long time, and really arena is the only thing left to do for them to conquer and kind of enjoy. So let's dive into it. So firstly, this isn't new. This isn't a new issue. We are rotating round the same issue, and it's pretty frustrating. 7 months ago, I talked with Ash about, did they fix the arena? 1 year ago, it's actually, I've got the original video here. It was in July 2020. Me and BGE talked about players leaving the early arena is totally busted. And, you know, for me, this was one of the biggest reasons that players were leaving the game. I had 18th of March 2021, arena totally busted again. Just like flicking up through some of my old videos. Yeah, it's just a problem now which has been coming and going. So what's going on? Basically, look, even someone in chat is talking about it right now. This dude, this isn't pre-planned. I'm not talking to any of these guys in chat. I hate Stone Skin. Stone Skin reaction, Swift parry, it's all RNG. Kind of takes some of the fun out of the arena. These dudes, they're talking about it right now. And this is the issue. That's the late game issue, which I'll get to later. But the early game issue is what we're going to talk about first. So players come into the game, and there are two things which are locked behind arena, like heavy, hard locked. You've got one, which is this shiny old Great Hall. Okay? Now for me, I've done the Great Hall. I've been through the patches of arenas easy. Yeah, you kind of go easy, hard, easy, hard. And I've been through those patches of it's totally easy. And I smashed out my Great Hall very early on. Not very early on. I've only completed it a few months ago. But I got far early. And then I got to the point where I had very strong teams that I could probably just blow my way through Gold 4 anyway. Okay, so not such an issue. But for newer players that are coming in, they need to do Great Hall for missions. They need to do Great Hall to boost their stats. And it's all locked behind the arena. Now, newer players, their fights are based pretty much on player power. Yeah, so you've got your player power. Mine's 15 mil up here. And they get thrown up against people that have got a similar player power to them in their kind of level, And what they'll do is they'll come up against teams that could be like massively superior to them if they've managed to boost their player power too much, if their own team is boosted too high. So examples of this, you pull a load of shards early on, and then you keep those champions. Yeah, player power goes up. What controls player power? What tells you in here? Champion power, artifact power is a massive one, Great Hall bonus, and then there's a couple of other smaller ones. So the more you boost stats, the higher your player power goes, and therefore the harder opponents you get. It's actually kind of, it's weird because it's anti the Raid way. Raid want you to spend money. They want you to pull shards, but the more shards you pull early, the harder the teams you fight. Also, the longer you've played the game for, with more champions that you've developed, the harder the arena becomes. Which is weird. Obviously, you get more tools at the same time. You've got more champions that can do stuff, but ultimately, the more 60s you get, the harder the arena becomes. Which is a dumb system. The other thing, which is kind of locking out, is missions. So people that are trying to get their Arbiter, basically there's a whole load of missions behind arena. And This is for Classic Arena. We'll get on to 3v3 in a minute because it's even worse, honestly. But for Classic Arena, there's a whole bunch of missions which are locked behind the arena. And we're at the point where people are struggling again that are new to the game to get out of bronze. If you cannot get out of bronze or mid-silver, it takes so long to level up your Great Hall. Like, insanely long. And it's just deflating. Yeah, you're just kind of like, I can't see how I develop this with the teams I've got. Now, there are ways to win. Okay, there are ways to be better. I showed it on my last free-to-play. I'm going to start a new free-to-play account tomorrow, and I'm going to try and show it again. But you shouldn't need great knowledge, the right champions in the right spots to fight in bronze, in my opinion. I feel like bronze should be a given, just newbie players that don't understand the game yet. You get into silver, you start to play against people with a bit more knowledge, and then you push into gold, and it's a more serious fight. That's how I think it should go. The trouble with all of this is, there's too many things are locked behind the arena. Yeah, so if you lock stuff behind the arena, you cannot have it as a pure PvP fight. Otherwise, people just won't progress in the game. If people don't progress in the game, off they go. That's the facts. Yeah, that is the facts of this game. So what do they need to do? Honestly, we've talked about it before. This is a year of PvP. They should just either cut the missions out for Arbiter. Just keep PvP as its own thing. A lot of games do this, by the way. PvP is its own world within a game. A lot of players only enjoy PvE content, by the way. A lot of players do not enjoy arena or PvP style stuff at all. Yeah, a lot of players that played World of Warcraft for 10 years didn't even venture into the arena. They just love doing the raid content. They love doing the boss fights. They love the team kind of synergies and stuff like that, but they didn't really enjoy the arena gameplay. So you've got to be careful with this type of game, how much you're forcing someone to do it. So, yeah, I feel like at the moment, Raid's gone like heavily towards we're forcing you to do this stuff, especially with what is locked behind fighting in the arena. So that's the early game kind of view. It's just bleak. They need to extend the arena out, which they've talked about doing already. Just do it. Should be the easiest copy pasting I've ever seen. Give the arena more high-end tiers so that the higher quality players can play further away from the newer players. I think a good idea would just be to have almost like a separate arena class for people that are newer in the game. So they don't just get thrown in the mix with all the people that have played the game for a long time. Maybe, I mean, player power being the kind of separator for the arena is also very dumb because player power just scales in such a weird way. That doesn't make any sense. You know, there's just so many things where you're just kind of like, it doesn't make sense the way you've set this up. So Classic Arena is rubbish for an early game player. And then when you get into 3v3 Arena, it's potentially even worse. Although there's not as much locked behind it. That's the only good thing. There's not as much locked behind it. I'm sitting in Gold 3 on my main. This is something a lot of people don't realize, but look at this. So Bronze 1 can have as many players as you like. The rest of Bronze, 60,000, 45,000, 30,000, and it decreases as you go. Yeah, so the top end of the game, let's take the whole of Gold. You've got, what, 3, 6, 7, 8, about 9,000 players playing in Gold Arena in 3 versus 3. It's a minute amount of players. Okay, it is slim pickings to get up here. 9,000 players playing Gold Arena in 3 versus 3. The game mode by itself is just trash, by the way. There's no incentive at all to get into the high levels, but there's no prizes for it. You collect gold bars for what? I mean, this shop could be one of the best things in the game, and right now, it's what do? Buy the accessories each day. That's it. If you've got tons of gold bars, you might buy the shards. And you might buy these charms. But honestly, it's dumb that it's bronze, silver, gold, firstly. If I've collected my gold bars, I want to spend them. It's dumb that there's so few things in here of any real value for people that play the game. Where's the new items? Chaos Ore. I've said this before. Chaos Ore, the feasts, the barrels. Where's the interesting sets which are PvP focused or PvE focused Where's the different champions that you could grind towards in here? It's just so lazy in this shop. Honestly, this shop pisses me off. It's such a lazy piece of content. You know what happened? This shop came in however long ago, probably like 18 months ago, maybe more now, maybe it was 2 years ago, the shop came in. What has changed to improve it in that time? What has changed in that time, Raid? Literally freaking zero. They've put in this crap avatar. Like, come on. It's so weak that this hasn't been changed. It's so lazy that this hasn't been changed. With all the cool stuff you can collect in this game, why is there not more in here to incentivize me to want to do this game mode? That's one thing. The other thing is, so we talked about it. There's only 9,000 players in gold. You've then got another, what, 25, 35, 45. 45, is that right? 20, 30, 45. Yeah, 1,000 players in silver. And you're like, oh, that's quite a lot. It is not a lot. There was a video released from Raid mid last year, and they talk about how many players have downloaded the game. 76 million. They go on a bit further to say how many active players or how many players have got to level, can't find it right now. How many players have got to level 60? 335,000 is the answer. I've then gone and looked at, well, how many active players does this game have on a daily basis? And on this website, it's a little bit out of date, so it might be different now, but 1 million active daily players across all platforms, according to this website. 1 million. And let's say that's overinflated. Let's say it's actually only 700,000. So of those 700,000, only 9,000 can get into a gold arena. I mean, what? How dumb is that? How dumb is it that you spread it like this? Which means that then you've got the next group, the 45,000 in silver. Yeah, so basically 50-odd thousand players can play in silver or higher. How degrading is that in terms of your mindset when you're playing this game? I can't even get into silver 1. It feels like you have got no knowledge of the game. Well, in fact, you're actually in like the top, 10% of players in the game. And then you've got another space for 130-odd thousand players for the next 3 levels of bronze. And everyone else just sits in bronze 1. Everybody else, the other, 500, 600, 700-odd thousand players all sit in bronze 1. How does that make for a fun arena experience for someone who's playing the game? If you're a new player, you don't get out of bronze 1 for 6 months. Maybe more. How is that a fun experience for a new player in this game? It's just, and then when you start to look at it, you're like, yeah, but all I really want is Drexthar out of here. Then I don't care about it anyway. That's the mindset, unfortunately. That's where we're at. So there's a lot of things that need to be done if this is going to be the year of PvP for Raid. Now let me talk about an endgame player. What's going on with endgame? Well, firstly, as an endgame player, there is zero incentive for me to push 3v3. Zero. I get a few more gold bars per fight. Fine. It gives me more points for clan v clan. That's probably the best reason, by the way. Clan v clan is probably the biggest reason to get in there. But then what do you do anyway? It's reset day. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And this is what everyone should do, by the way, because it's this game mode. This is why you play this game mode. It gets to Monday morning, and it's like, oh, Monday morning. Okay, I don't want to win for the next 6 days. So I'm just going to put in nothing, champions. There you go, fellas. 3 wins against me. Because what do I want to do? I want to drop low. So that every fight I fight is this. Easy wins. So I can just get my gold bars, get my fights done, and get out. That's what 3v3 Tag Team Arena is for 99.9% of players. Unfortunately, if you're one of the newbies in Bronze 1, yeah, you should do the same thing still. You should definitely do that, by the way. Just put level 1 food everywhere. But you still don't get full pages like this because everyone's trying to get low and not enough people can. So you end up with pages of hard fights for you still. It's just so sad. The Bronze Tag Team Arena is so sad. So let's talk about Endgame arena. Yeah, this is pretty much the only place coming to play. This is the only place left for people to compete. What do we do up until then? Clan Boss is really fun until you beat it, and then it's like your daily grind. I'm happy enough with a daily grind, by the way. Doom Tower is pretty challenging. Yeah, fine. Hydra is challenging, but that's a completely different video. That's Faction Wars is fun content, but really once you've beaten all of these things, all that's left is trying to push Plat Arena. If you're not trying to push Plat Arena, all you're doing is hanging out in Gold 4. There's no and the rewards on a weekly basis. Did I get mine? I haven't got mine yet. I finished, I guess, Gold 4. I didn't push at all this week. And for a week's work, you basically get very little. This is Gold 4, the second best tier in the game. Plat Arena would have been basically the same as this, but maybe I would have had a higher chance of getting a legendary tome or something. It's really, really trash, and I would have got Swift Parry Deer here instead. So the reward tiers for Classic Arena are trash. Not making you want to push. To get into Gold 4 and just hold, it's fine for an endgame player like me, but for other players, it's really hard. And then you get to endgame and you want to try and push Plat. 300 players are allowed to get into this rank. It's very low for a game which has got 1 million active daily players. 300,000 players that are playing at a higher level. And then they just keep adding stuff to the game to make the game mode more frustrating. And that's the word, frustrating. So what have they done? They've added in, first, this was the first one, Swift Parry set. Now, I don't think this had the effect they expected it to. I actually think this is not something which they foresaw, but Swift Parry with this 50% chance to become unkillable, they actually built this set for damage dealers. Yeah, it's got speed on it. It's got crit damage on it. What they did is they built this set to give damage dealers that chance that if they take a hit, they still get a chance to nuke. They didn't foresee that the brains of the community would be like, you know what, if I get defensive sets of this, then I've got a good chance that my revivers won't go down. And if they don't go down, they can pick everyone else up, and then I can just have this almost unkillable team which just lasts for a long, long time. So the fights become much longer. I don't think they did it on purpose. Okay? Anyway, we found ways to beat up Swift Parry. It's still pretty like toxic for the meta. They then decided, well, hold on a minute. The arena fights are too quick. So we're going to bring out reaction gear. If someone's wearing 3 pieces, 75% chance to just change it all crits into normal hits. Trying to push all of the RNG in the favor of the defensive player. And then they did something which blows my mind. They brought in champion empowerment. Yeah, so you can push all of these extra stats on your champions, like I've done with Morley here. The additional stats you get for this are ludicrous. For the same champion, you get so many more stats that it becomes silly. Yeah, we've all seen, you know, one of the endgame players, one of the best players in the arena, Boomer, and his Trunder has got like 8,000 attack in Savage gear with like 300% crit damage or something insane, while still having like a couple of hundred resistance and a decent speed. Yeah, it's sickening and ridiculous. That's what it is. So it's pushed arena from being frustrating but still possible for a free-to-play player to being now very focused on the hyper whales, which is not the mindset for any game, by the way. That is not how games give longevity and like a community feel. If you jumped into League of Legends today and you were good enough, you could rise to the highest rank, and even though you started today, it doesn't matter. You could still play on equal terms with someone who's been playing the game for 10 years. All they've got over you is knowledge. They don't have anything else over you. In this game, okay, you've got to grind for gear, 1. You've got to get champions, 2. So that's already 2 things which extend the time to be able to compete. And they're quite major things. But then to have champion empowerment, as a free-to-play player, the chance of you empowering anyone is slim. The chance of you getting a +4 champion. I mean, I couldn't even tell you now how much I've spent on this game. It is an insane amount, especially since I'm a content creator. It's an insane amount, like probably 30 grand, probably 30k. And I cannot +4 anyone on my roster. Oh, sorry, I can. I can +4 Morley. She's the only one I can +4 on my roster. So that just gives you some perspective over the people that have got lots of multiple +4s. Yeah, the wailing of those compared to, and the chance of anyone competing with that on evil terms is 0 now. It's 0. So that's where this has gone. And then they've got one more thing they've just added in, which honestly, for me, it's actually just made me not want to play flat level resets. And that is this ridiculous set, Stone Skin. Stone Skin, what's it doing? When you've got, and it doesn't even matter the quality of the gear, honestly, because it's the passive of the gear that is broken, not the quality. I could literally roll any pieces of gear and make Stone Skin work. And it will filter down, because anyone could get Stone Skin from Hydra. If you beat up normal, I only really beat up normal and hard, and I've got a few pieces here. In fact, I've got a few pieces to collect from last week. Yeah, so anyone who's beaten up normal and hard will get themselves, you know, a few pieces each week. As long as you double chest normal, you get yourself a chunk of pieces, like 6 or so, and you're like, okay, well, I'm probably going to have enough after a few weeks to just put a defense out in Stone Skin. Or you might get lucky and get some good offensive pieces for one of your champions as well. And once you've done this, your defense will be just toxic. Because basically you've got 2 full turns where there's a 50% RNG, they can't take it off you, and you take 85% less damage. I mean, Plarium are so desperate for bomb champions to be in the game, they made Stone Skin. That's my view. They're so desperate for bombs to have a meaning in this game that they created Stone Skin. The trouble is, I can't see if someone's wearing Stone Skin before I go into the fight. So do I bring a bomb champion just in case? If I do, 25% of my roster is taken up with someone that might be pointless. Bomb champions by design are all very, very squishy. You have to build them squishy because you have to go full attack, and they're very difficult to keep alive for more than a turn. But I could see they're trying to force champions like Astrolith into the meta because they need a use for this mechanic which they built, which they've never been able to get to work. I don't know, guys. There's just so many things with the arena right now that it's almost like, you know what? Start again. You know, rip it up and start again. It's in dire straits. It's the worst I've seen it for all levels of player. All levels of player. I feel like it's the worst I've seen it. Anyway, that's my view. This is the year of PvP for Plarium. So for Raid, I'd love to see what you're going to do. I'd love to see how you're going to turn this shit show into a quality experience. And the main thing, if you don't do anything else, the main thing is to throw those bots back into the arena for newer players and let them get their Great Hall going. Let them get their missions moving. Otherwise, you're just going to lose more players at the early game. No one wants to see that. There you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.